Ah, the ocean. A place of wonder and tranquility. Home to creatures big and small. It is the perfect holiday destination to relax and have some fun.
Subnautica, one of the top contenders for my favorite game of all time. The atmosphere, the soundtrack, the quiet story, and of course the infamous Leviathans.
Fuck did I
Yeah, these guys. I love them, you love them, I want to talk about them. And what better opponent to put against them than someone who's already had to face a menace from the deep sea. Someone who already knows the horror and yet persists against all odds. Today we discover if Mumen Rider from Wanpanman could defeat the terrifying Leviathans from Subnautica. Starting with our favorite hero, Mumen Rider is actually a lot tougher than many people give him credit for. Many people claim that this is supposed to just be a regular guy, and compared to these guys, yeah, he really is just a normal dude. But let me tell you, this man is folding Prime Mike Tyson like a chair with zero difficulty. Satoru, yes that's his actual name, go figure, has displayed numerous impressive feats, such as surviving getting his head slammed into the concrete by Garo hard enough to crack it. Good luck to any human being trying to replicate that one. But of course, that is not all. Mumen Rider also survives some casual attacks from Deep Sea King, and again, what normal human is getting back up after getting ragdolled like this? And in general, Mumen Rider as a hero should scale above a random cop who gets slammed into the floor with enough force to shatter it without his body being mangled. Satoru should also scale above Kid Saitama, who survived being slammed into a wall with enough force to leave a crater. In one of the audiobooks, Mumen Rider even faces a monster called Angry Grandpa, and this grandpa is angry enough to tank gunshots from the police as well as punch holes into the ground, which Mumen Rider tanks while seemingly off guard. All of this already gets him to wall level, or even wall level plus. Some more stuff he can do is pedal full speed for a considerable distance while carrying Tank Top Master on his bike. This is basically like carrying a miniature Hulk. This is also an impressive speed feat, as it implies that Mumen Rider can pedal faster than Tank Top Master can run, as this is a serious situation and he needs to get to the battlefield as fast as possible. So Mumen Rider's bike speed might actually be pretty cracked. However, I will say that some of the heroes' travel speed is not that great in the series, like Metalbat preferring to take public transport to a disaster scene instead of running, apparently. Mumen Rider also takes a punch from Tank Top Master, albeit the big man pulled his punch at the last second, but still, it is something to note. And the two bigger possible upscales for Mumen Rider are him potentially scaling above some low-tier characters like this guy, whatever his name is, which can get him up to small building level. There's not a direct line of scaling, but like, the implications for Mumen Rider are definitely better than for this guy. And lastly, Mumen Rider survives a direct punch from one of Hammerhead's goons with a power suit. This is the same power suit that just moments ago knocked down a skyscraper, with that feat being calculated all the way up to multi-city block level. And we don't really have an indication that the suit's power can vary, or that these insane guys would hold back when punching a hero, as they literally just killed who knows how many people by destroying that building. However, obviously the more consistent line of scaling for Mumen would just be the wall or small building level stuff, and the Hammerhead crew probably didn't actually hit him with the full force of the battle suits. Moving on to speed, Mumen Rider actually has some pretty amazing speed feats, one of which being the Tank Top Master one, as I've said before, and the other being the time that he pedaled from outside of City J all the way to where the shelter was inside of the city. We don't know exactly how much of a distance he covered, but he did this in a very short period of time. However, we don't really have anything to put him just above Subsonic at the absolute very best for his travel speed, and for combat speed he's really only peak human level or a bit above probably. And that is the power of the Rider of Justice, someone who by our real life standards would be an absolute, uncontested superhuman. But can he compete with the horrors of the deep, or will this end like his confrontation with the Deep Sea King? The Leviathans from Subnautica put our Earth's oceans to shame, with hostile fauna nearly twice the length of the blue whale being considered prey by some species. For this video we shall be using the Reaper Leviathan, the Ghost Leviathan, the Sea Dragon Leviathan, and if Mumen Rider makes it past them, we'll bring in a horror from the ancient times. Starting with the Reaper, these things are monsters. The field of view in the game is a bit weird for creature sizes, so they don't look nearly as big as they should be, but if you go into free cam, you can see that these creatures are absolutely massive. With an official length of 55 meters, and a body made of pure muscle and nightmare fuel, the Reaper is feared for a reason. This thing could eat our whales for breakfast and the extinct megalodons for lunch. They are equipped with echolocation, meaning that if you hear its roar in the distance, it can see you. As for their actual feats, the Reapers can pretty casually tear large holes in metal life pods, damage and push around giant Cyclops submarines, the hull of which is made from titanium by the way, and the weight is probably at least comparable to real-life submarines of similar size, weighing in at around 500 tons. Some calculations even put this behemoth at well over 2,000 tons. And the Reaper can push this thing around and bite chunks out of the titanium hull. Quite a bit more impressive than the wall level guys, if I do say so myself. And just via their own weight and movement speed, these guys, just by swimming, have also been calculated to be around small building level. A Reaper has also been documented tearing up a Degasi crew base, which again is made from titanium, and they can damage the prawn suit, which is also made of titanium, and can withstand being at depths of nearly 2,000 meters underwater. That's a lot of pressure. The Reaper Leviathan's combat style primarily involves wrestling, grappling, and piercing with those giant mandibles, as well as good old-fashioned bites. Next up is the Ghost Leviathan. This beast puts the Reaper to shame, as even the juveniles outclass the Reapers in size, and the adults are literally twice as big. They really just upscale from the Reaper Leviathan in physical stats pretty comfortably by a good amount, and just via their sheer mass have been calculated to move with enough force to destroy a large building. And finally, the Sea Dragon Leviathan. This monstrosity eats Reapers whole by hunting them down, grabbing them, dragging them down into the volcanic depths, and boiling them alive. They like their meals cooked, measuring in at an astounding 112 meters and a whopping 2,000 tons. They have rock-hard armor and can literally shoot fireballs from their mouth to cook you. Not to mention they can dismantle precursor bases made from a material that might be stronger than basically anything on Earth. Yeah. And just by moving, they generate large building levels of destruction, and then there's the ancient extinct gargantuan Leviathan that can literally swallow these things whole and generate freaking large town level energy by swimming. These guys are over 1 kilometer long and weigh over 2 million tons for Pete's sake. Now, one last note on the Leviathans, they can technically all be killed by the player with a knife, with the exception of the Gargantuan, but like, you have to just sit there forever and swing an ungodly number of times to do it. It's not really an anti-feat. Now getting into the actual battle, Mumen Rider will take on each of these beasts one-on-one, and after each battle he will get a full recovery. The fight will take place on the water's surface so Satoru can breathe, with the depth being just enough for the Leviathans to move comfortably. Mumen Rider versus the Reaper Leviathan. This one is actually kind of interesting. If you somewhat highball Mumen Rider, he sits comfortably in that small building level range, as does the Reaper. Both should have the capacity to damage each other, but the Reaper is gonna be a lot more tanky. One good bite or grab or piercing attack will maim Mumen Rider heavily. Meanwhile, just due to the Leviathan's sheer size, it will be able to tank a lot more hits in return. For speed, the player character can actually somewhat avoid the Reaper with things like the Sea Glide, but the Reaper is still very much capable of catching them. Mumen Rider would have his speed nerfed in the water, and with him only having vaguely superhuman level combat speed to begin with, it's not looking too hot. I'm sure he could dodge a few charges and land some counters, but the Reaper only really needs to catch him once and it's over. Even if Mumen plays it smart and goes for things like the eyes, the Reaper has echolocation. Stuff like that won't really stagger him or bring him down. It would be like those matador fights where a man has to dodge a charging bull over and over again. So for this fight, my conclusion is that Mumen Rider could definitely annoy the Reaper a bit and probably damage it a little, but overall I would not bet on him winning. This fight will be a hell of a lot closer than his battle with Deep Sea King, but yeah, overall I would give it to the Reaper like 8 times out of 10. Next up is the Ghost, pretty much the same situation but worse. I would say it wins like 9 or 9.5 times out of 10. Then there's the Dragon. I feel bad, and I'm not gonna talk about the Gargantuan, that's just cruel. So in conclusion, I believe that this fight is somewhat close between a highballed Mumen and your average Reaper, but the odds are stacked in the Reaper's favor, and then every other Leviathan just kinda wins. So unfortunately, Mumen Rider still can't seem to stand up to the horrors of the ocean. His CPTSD is just gonna be stacking and stacking. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and with nothing else to say, I wish you a good rest of the day. Goodbye.
That's mine, you son of a bitch! No! Get it back!